Welcome to Pera's Playbook. This is your host, Alex Pera. Let's open up our playbook and see who our guest is. Please enjoy. Welcome to episode 230 of Pera's Playbook. Today we're joined by a special guest, Ekow Quartey. Many of you would recognize him as Bem from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. We're very happy to have him on the podcast today. How's it going?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Alex. It's lovely to be here. Absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it's awesome to have you on. I had one other person, Greg Kolpakji. He was a Durmstrang student in the fourth film. But happy to have somebody on, recognizable character with some lines that everybody who's a Potter fan knows. Um, but before we dive into Harry Potter, how did you get into acting? When you were a kid, what got you interested in acting?
I loved making people laugh. I loved making people smile, laugh, forget what was going on in life, just give people a good time. I was always playful. I got told off a lot for being easily distracted. And I think I liked being the center of attention, but was also kind of shy. So it kind of allowed me to sort of tick all of those boxes, but hide behind sort of like a character being really playful. Like home life wasn't the easiest. We're an immigrant family. When I was young, I didn't realize we were we were trying to get permanent stay in the UK. So like my parents, they were going through everything, working two, three jobs. And so it was like my outlet. It was like my little way of just having fun, playing around, doing something that I enjoyed. And quite quickly, I saw, or others saw, so like I call them my surrogate fathers. I've got two drama teachers, Mr. Cranich and Mr. Jolly, who sort of encouraged me to continue and taught me or showed me where to go, what to do, what to be involved in if it was something I wanted to continue and something I wanted to hone.
Yeah, they showed you the path that hey, you can do this for a career.
That's it, my Yoda and my Obi-Wan.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, everybody needs a Yoda and Obi-Wan in their life, right?
Absolutely. Someone just to point you in the right direction. It's yeah, and I was very, very fortunate to have those two.
Yeah. So Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. At this point, it's the third movie in the franchise. The other two were big successes. Very popular. How did you get your role in the film?
So the Gina J was the casting director and she came to my school. Um Now, since this is 20 years ago, I'll say the version I remember. Hopefully, someone maybe can corroborate or deny it. But they came to my school, and Alfonso was directing. Rumor had it, Mexican director. He was like, I would like to add a little more tones and hues into the school. Like, let's find some different ethnicities of and I went to an all boys school, so they went to the lunch hall, just started picking boys out, saying, do you like acting? Do you like act? Would you like to audition? And more often than not, 98% of the time I'd be in the lunch hall. But this 2%, I wasn't. I was on the field playing football. And again, Mr. Jolly, Peter Jolly, the man, the legend himself, dragged this casting assistant around the school. And our school grounds aren't small, like over fields, into classrooms, asking all my friends, have you seen Echo? Have you seen Echo? Have you seen where he is? And they found me on like the top corner field in goal, taking it very seriously, being told about this casting opportunity, which I wasn't taking seriously, mainly because I was taking my goalkeeping so seriously. And then they were like, "Oh yeah, so Harry Potter." I was like, "Oh, that sounds cool. Yeah, yeah. Just leave your details with Peter. I'll get back." Because when you're a kid, you as I was 11, you don't realize the weight of what this thing is. It's like, oh, it sounds really cool, and then started a process of, I think it was 7 to 8 auditions. Like the first 3 to 4 rounds were all big group auditions, just seeing what people's like acting chops were, doing different drama games, improv games. seeing how confident people were and everything. And then it started getting down to fewer and fewer numbers. Like, I think at the beginning there was something like maybe 180 boys from my school that were auditioning, and then by the time it got to the penultimate round, there was just three of us left. So then everyone's like, "Oh, have you heard back? No, have you heard back?" And then I'll never forget there was like a big break, maybe about. So there was two moments. I had an audition where I went into town to meet Alfonso and Christopher Columbus. We did a script. My dad took me, and at 11, your parents are dressing you up. So I was in like this shirt tucked into my jeans. I think I was wearing my dad's chain. We had prayed before and everything. Um, went in, did my best, and then I didn't hear anything for quite a while, maybe like a month and a half, 2 months. And then one day I came home and my mum was like, "They called." I was like, "Stop it." What do you mean? She's like, "Yeah, you got the role." So yeah, it was the first time I'd ever been involved in an audition process like that. And actually, when I look back, if I think about, so obviously they're doing the HBO one now, and you go, yeah, it's a process trying to find children who can act. And I think they're far better now than we ever were back then, because there's so much more information. There's unfortunately so much more mature than probably we were back in early 2000s. But it means you've got these children who are just so sharp, so intelligent, know how to portray emotions, relax, and everything. But yeah, it's a process. And it's amazing that they're doing another production which is going to be so child heavy, because it's an hell of an experience.
I think it's really cool that you didn't like just see the posting and say, "Well, I want to audition for that." Like they came to your school like looking for people. I mean, that's really interesting.
Because I'd never, at that point, I'd never seen anything about open auditions or anything like that. I hadn't even, when the first auditions must have happened, then I would have been 9. And also, bless my mum, she didn't want me to be an actor. So any of those opportunities being around, impossible. Um, but thankfully, because my school has a drama department and has a theatre, I think that's why it was one of the schools that they went, well, at least we know we have a liaison. And I think my school sometimes gets used for filming here and then. So there's sort of some connection. So yeah, I was really fortunate. It's a school she sent me to become an economist, and I left an actor. So yeah,
Sorry, Mom, didn't work out
um,
the way you wanted.
I'm really sorry. It's your own fault. You put me in too good a position to become an actor.
That's wonderful. So when you got the role, did at that time did you know like, hey, I'm gonna have a couple of lines, or did you have any idea what the part was gonna entail? Like when they called you and said, hey, you've got it.
So funnily enough, after the audition that I did, we did some scenes, and then the offer came and the contract came. They said, unfortunately, we can't afford for you to be a speaking role. And I was like, I don't care. It's Harry Potter. They'll be there. So so the contract was like main non-speaking role, and I was like, sounds cool. Yeah, amazing. And the lines came just on a rainy morning. I literally, I literally had come in, and the first line I ever got given was the divinations one, which was the long one with. And the morning we come in, oh, Alfonso would love to see you, and I was credited as boy one, and the a guy called Ricky Shahota called was boy two. He'd love to see you two in the office. Now, at this point, we had got in trouble quite a few times for talking too much on set. So I thought, oh no, this is it. I've burnt a good thing. It's time to pack our bags and head home. And he was there like, oh, I want to do this scene. I need people to say these lines. Can we just workshop it? And again, when I think you're so young, because so at this time yeah, I'm 12 when we're filming now, and like you're so young, it's not scary, or at least it wasn't for me. It was just like, oh, this is cool, yeah. not the grin, you idiot, the grim. And so you're just going through it, and then yeah, then we got in. They set up. They did the whole opening part. Um, I think I start getting nervous now. I'm like, okay, cool. Uh, in the rehearsal, I got to say the line. I've learned it. I don't even know how I learned it, if I learned it, because I would have just got it on the day. So it's not like I even learned it with my mum. Did I even tell my mum I had a line? I can't even remember because I can't even remember. But then, yeah, you just went for it, and Alfonso was so good with the young actors, like the way he gave notes, the way he gave confidence. Um, and so, yeah, it was so weird. It was such a surreal experience. And you don't think about what's going to come next. At least I didn't. I never thought being told I was being in the film was cool enough because I love the books. And then you never think these lines are going to be cemented in cinematic history. And people love it so much. It's such a blessing.
Yeah. Two of the most like ominous lines, and you deliver them so straight.
No, I remember watching it back thinking, what's happened to this young boy? Who hurt you? Who hurt you? Just like he's wise beyond his years. Everyone's running around and he's just like, that's right. Black could be anywhere. In my mind, I hope like if there was ever like a parody, someone goes, who are you? And are you okay? Is everything okay at home? Like what's going on? But yeah, but so ominous and so profound. Like
And it
a
just
50,
comes out of nowhere.
I
Like they're
know.
talking and then boom, here you are.
Boom, tone shift. And I think it helped because the third film was a darker film. It was like even the way they shot it, they put like that sepia tone on it. So it had that weird, slightly browny, darker feel to it. It's a scarier film. You have the whole Sirius Black storyline from the beginning. Yeah, it was you spending time in the Whomping Willow and all of and it's just it just sort of fitted and evidently this young boy was ready and raring to give you the ominous.
Yeah. It's definitely the start in the movies where the filming it's darker. They use different techniques, and then four, five, and six. By the time you get to six, I mean it's really dark. There's the tint of the film in six is, and I mean it just obviously the plot gets darker. But I think in the movies they do a really good job of with their film techniques of showing the darkness of the story
That's
translated to
it.
how they filmed it.
I think it's going to be amazing to have because if if even as a minimum the series is 8 1 hour episodes, that's 8 hours per book. Like, that's amazing. The amount of detail you can go into. And let's say if they have the budget, they can go to 10 or 12, because I think there'll be an appetite for it. Then, like, I think a lot of the book fans are going to hopefully be very, very happy by the detail that 12 hours of TV can do, um, and parts that just get missed because you have to make, I mean, if even Prisoner of Azkaban was the full length, it could have been that's like a 5 hour film. And then you get to the bigger books, you get to five, six, seven, part one, part two, and you're like, yeah, what do you if they do split that into a part one and part two? But yeah, those books are hefty.
Yeah. When they first announced whatever that was a year ago or that they were gonna do the series, my initial reaction was, "Are we serious right now? Like the movies are so good. Why are we redoing this?" But the more I read into it, and the more like the teaser they just released looks phenomenal.
No, I
There's
haven't
so
seen
much
it yet.
detail they can do, like you're
It's
talking
yeah,
about.
I need to watch the teaser, but I do
Oh, it's
think
really good.
it's obviously it's a hard mantle to like to 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 put on your back because we're the generation who grew up with the films and the books. But there is a generation who are then going to be like, oh, let me introduce you to this version. Um, And I really, I hope they do it justice, and I hope it gets the love it deserves. I've got one or two friends in it who are brilliant actors, so I know, yeah, they're going to be absolutely exceptional.
Yeah. I think it's hard for, like you were saying, people who grew up with the movies. To us, Daniel Radcliffe is always going to be Harry Potter. Rupert Grint is always going to be Ron Weasley, and so on.
Hmm.
But what they can do with this series, in the movies, we see Dobby and then we like lose sight of Dobby and then he comes back and it's like, oh, okay, he's dead. So like there's so much there that they can expand on. The ghosts. We kind of lose the ghosts after the third movie. You've got a few ghost scenes in the third movie. No more ghosts until we see Rowena Ravenclaw when Harry goes down. So there's a lot of little details that hopefully they can add in and
Even
just
the DA coins, which get introduced, I think, in the fifth book or maybe the fourth book, and is integral to them being able to communicate about the battle back in Hogwarts. But they never, uh, David Yates hadn't introduced it in his film, in the fifth film. So everyone's getting to the like part one and two, going, how are they all going to communicate with each other? And they just magically appear. Like those details that I think everyone who has spent the time hours reading it, like I think there's going to be it's going to be great for the fans. And just like when Cursed Child came to the theater, like it also it's going to bring in a new audience. Like having Cursed Child at is it Shaftesbury Avenue Theater, like the audiences that are going to a West End theater, like audiences I'd never seen before, and it's doing so well. And I've seen it. I had another friend who was in it, and so I went to support her, and it's brilliant. Like it's so entertaining, and the standard, and it won so many Olivier's because of the standard it put into its theater show, a live performance with all of that magic, with all of that stage trickery and everything. And it's yeah, it's brilliant.
I think the other great thing about the show is it shows that Harry Potter lives on. Like it's still important to so many people that they're going to make a major HBO production for it, right? Like if it wasn't popular anymore, they wouldn't be making but we've got the Wizarding World popping up down at Universal and people just flock there. You're talking about The Cursed Child. Now we've got this HBO series. There's so much and it's all popular. Everyone loves it. People can't get enough Potter.
Absolutely, man. It is crazy how much, and I feel the same way in terms of when I have incredible people like you who have such distinguished guests coming on, ask me to do a podcast. Because yeah, like I'm an actor now, and there's things I've done now that in its own right, hopefully people will be like, oh, come on, we would love to talk or promote. But what's amazing is that it means so much to so many people in so many different ways and is so important to people. Um, and something we did or I did 22 years ago, 23 years ago, and is still holds so much importance in people's lives is like, yeah, that definitely is the foundation of something that will live on and on and on.
Yeah. It's so wonderful to have a world that you can escape into through the movies, through the books when you're reading them. Well, however it is, you can escape into this totally different world and immerse yourself with these characters. And so
That's
many
it.
of the characters are relatable to our own lives. Like we can find a character in the movie and like, well, that's kind of like me and my friends.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true. And everyone has everyone has a favorite. Like there's the ones that love Hermione, the ones that love Ron, the ones that love Neville Longbottom, the ones that are Ginny fans, Luna love Joy, like all of these, even the ones who have a love for the Slytherins, like it's always funny where when people are like, yeah, I'm a Ravenclaw, and they're so excited because Ravenclaw and Hufflepuffs aren't the two houses that get the most amount of there it is. They don't get the most amount of screen time, but like or at least like representation in terms of these two warring houses, the dark versus the good, and people still have so much joy. And it's like I'm a Hufflepuff, and that still means something. It's not just trying to follow the like the A track that people find so much joy and love in the whole detail of the wizarding world.
Yeah, for sure. So you were also you had an uncredited role in the fifth film?
No, actually, yes. So we can we can settle this.
Okay. Because
Or,
IMDb
or-
says you do.
I know it's so crazy. I might have to email them. So there was an actor who looked vaguely like me, who was in Ravenclaw, and somehow have been accredited with it. Unless there's something I don't know because I never filmed anything, and unless they've used my voice, it's I don't know. But I I think I've been unfairly to the other actor who worked so hard have been given his credit. Um, I think it was called Paige Jackson or something like that. Who he did the X Factor here in the UK so many years ago. And I think that's the first time I saw him. And I was like, oh, I recognize him. And yeah, he was. I think it's him who's in the fifth film. But I'll take it. And if they won't, I'll take it.
Right. That is interesting. I've talked to other people and said like, "Hey, I saw this on your IMDb," and they're like, "Well, I've never done that. What are you talking about?" So, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time that there's a mistake.
It's interesting. I like sometimes you can take control of your own page, but sometimes by the time you're taking control of your own page, there's so many things that have already been put on, and unless you take the time to go back through and sort of trawl through and go, no, that's wrong, that's right, that's wrong. Sometimes you just see things appear and you go, "Ah, okay," because I suppose it's like a job interview, isn't it? It's like if I ask for your CV and I'm like, oh, but I see you were managing director here and here and here and here. That's why I want to offer you the role. Then you're like, fine, yeah, cool, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was me. Uh-huh. Sure.
Mhm. How many years was I there? 2 years. Yeah, 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 yeah. 2 great years.
Great experience.
But yeah,
Uh, So you mentioned, obviously you've done a lot of other acting, and one other thing I want to touch on is you've done some Shakespeare work. Um,
indeed.
and I love Shakespeare. Oh, I don't love all Shakespeare. I love the comedies. I'm not as much into the serious dramas. I wasn't a huge Hamlet and Macbeth fan. Love Midsummer Night's Dream. Much Ado About Nothing is great. Um, when I was in high school, we had a travel club. We went to England. We got to go to Stratford upon Avon, see all Shakespeare's birth and all that. And that was really cool. They had, like you're out there, they have actors in the courtyard, just two actors, and you could name like any Shakespeare scene, like do this, and they just whip it out like that. No practice, no rehearsal, and they just do it. And I was like, man, that's amazing. It was such a cool place, and I mean, Shakespeare's such a wonderful writer, his stories, his characters.
Came up with so many words that we use in the English language now. It's yeah, the actors, those actors you've spoken about are absolutely incredible. Like to retain that much. Uh, it's always funny in Q&As, like play Q&As, or after you do a play. Oftentimes, people who don't know anything about theatre or acting will always ask, how do you learn all of those words?" And like sometimes you joke, you go, "Well, it's my job. I have to learn them," but we have rehearsals. But I'll say it for those guys because I don't know how you like retain that much language. Um, because it's so much to be able to be asked to do any scene, and they go, is that from okay, the Folio Act Three? It's incredible. That's a feat of memory that I don't think I could ever achieve. But yeah, man, I love Shakespeare. I've been really fortunate. Became an associate artist at Shakespeare's Globe on the Bankside in London, and it's for me, it's amazing. The Globe is such an incredible space. You feel like a rock star. Shared lighting. I did Midsummer Night's Dream. I played Lysander. My Lysander had and for any of the listeners who don't know, it's he is like the poet, the lover, and all my poetry in inverted commas was like 90s and early noughties hip hop and R&B. So there was one scene where I've been love potioned and I've fallen in love with the opposite lady. Um, and I'm saying to Helena, how is it you say I don't love you? And I break into a song medley. But I'd like have a list of, I think that playlist had like 250 songs on it. So whatever came to my mind, I would just sing. But there was one show I had your country's people. There was a group teens, a group of college students. I think maybe three groups because there was a lot of them. I thought it was like maybe 100, maybe 150 of them in the yard. And for some strange reason, this show I really wanted to sing Bruno Mars. So when I said, "How is it you say I can't love you?" and I was like, "When I see your face, there's not a thing that I would change." And then the entire yard, started by these American students, just started singing it. Like, so you're just there, arms wide, standing on the stage, audience literally finishing the show for you. Um, and I don't think there's any other space in the world that encourages that and has special moments like that. It really was one of the most beautiful and like in tune things that's ever happened. Like the audience being like, "Yeah, we got you. We got you. We'll finish the concert for you."
That's awesome. That's really cool. So what about like the experience of being on stage versus a film set? Obviously, it's a totally different type of acting.
There has its similarities and its differences. I think the first big difference is the your relationship with an audience. Um, you have in a theater, you have sort of a live feedback, a live conversation with your audience, which especially when it's a Shakespeare like soliloquy. My goodness, I'm just gonna turn that alarm off. Don't know what that alarm is. There we go. Um, so you have this relationship with the audience where like in a soliloquy, let's say like Macbeth, you can be like, is this a dagger which I see before me? And you can just leave space for someone to be like, no, what the handle toward my hand. Like, I can't see anything. Like you have that live interaction. Whereas I think theater is a dialogue medium. Yes, it has its visual, it can do its visuals, but normally is a heavily dialogue medium, whilst film, TV is a visual medium where okay, you lose the audience for a camera lens, knowing then that that's what the audience sees of size of performance, where it gets more concentrated down because imagine if you were doing a theater play and the audience was like right here, right next to you. There's no way you're shouting and big gesticulations because all I'm trying to do is communicate with you as close as you are. It's like the camera becomes the voyeur that gets to see into these feelings and these emotions and these moments that this character is going through. And then I think also theater, the repetition. I think the actor on a theater show, the actor is in control of the editing of the story, if that makes sense, and the timing. Um, Whereas you get to screen and you have to relinquish that control. You, the actor, have to do your best possible to give the editor, the director, as much content for them to be able to tell the story. Because once the show gets into the editing suite, a film or a TV show, it can completely change. You've got music as underscore. You've got grading you can do with the lighting and everything, effects. They can leave pauses. They can take out reactions. Oftentimes, if you go away and you watch anything now, you'll realize that more often than not, the camera is on the person who's receiving information, not the one talking, because that's where the story is. I want to know how you're receiving what I'm saying because you're receiving this huge news about something, something, another, and the story is with you. And so yeah, so you're not always you relinquish that control as the actor. So you can all you can do is your best, give as much honesty and truth as possible, and trust your director and editor and producers to create what is right for the story.
Do you have a favorite film versus, like TV and versus the stage production? Like, do you enjoy one or the other, or do you like them both equally, or?
I think it feels like a cop out to say I don't love them equally. I love them both for different reasons. Like they hone different skills. I have always thought like the storytelling of theater for an actor is incredible because and the I think the fitness and the repetition and to go out there every night and it to be fresh and new, like it takes a certain level of concentration and fitness that's amazing. You find yourself in a rhythm. But there is something about film and TV, the detail, the experiences where you get taken. Like I've been to Prague, to Spain, America. I'm going to Norway, like South Africa, all of these great places because again, like I said, it's a visual medium, so it's equally about what you can see in the background. Like I've learned to ride a horse for a project, um, and you don't do that for theater. It's not you unfortunately. So they come with different challenges and different pushes of your skill set. So I love them. I love them both. I really, really love them both. They do different things for the soul, but yeah, I love them both.
Yeah. No, that's a good answer. I mean, you want to continue doing both, I assume?
Yeah, you know what, anything and everything. I'd love to continue doing and even the difference between film and TV. Um, TV, again, this all depends on budget, but like the speed you work at on TV in comparison to film is remarkable. Like they often talk about it in pages, how many pages you have to film today. And I've done some British comedies where like we're doing 7 pages in the day, which is a lot of work to get done. And then I've done a film where we did 1 page for a day, one singular page because of the detail of the shots, the establishing shots, the how many times they went through the scene. It was this long speech between conversation between two characters, and I come in and I leave, and like that level of detail and the time that's taken to get it perfect. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but yeah, and even there's the medium of voiceover, like animation and stuff like that. I've had lucky enough this year to do, or was it last year? Last year to do an animation, which is a whole new skill set. Because as like as creating podcasts and your listeners, like when without a visual medium, what the voice can do is remarkable. If you have the skill sets of different accents and everything, that's amazing. But even just, I remember the animator said, "You don't have eyebrows, so I need your voice to do it. I need your voice to turn the corners of the emotion and thought and oh my God, what about this? And we should go do and like so all of a sudden how far you realize your voice can stretch, how much you can emote out of someone just with your voice is incredible. And then you get the incredible animation on top. So I want to do it all. I'd love to do everything and anything that allows me to tell stories.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of projects in the works right now?
At the moment, there's a couple potentials which I'm hope God willing fall into place. There's one project which I hope I'm allowed to talk about which is based on a true story of a young boy who suffers with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, but he was playing World of Warcraft at the same time as living with this. Um, and the world he created within the game was very opposite to the world that he had to live with his ailment, and it's a really beautiful story. So I think that's I won't be playing the young boy. It's to play another one of the characters, but that's hopefully in the pipeline soon. But otherwise, we have Amanda Land season 2 coming out in May, I believe, and yeah, then the world's my oyster. We'll see what's next.
Will you have more Shakespeare opportunities at the Globe?
I'd love to. It's a difficult the thing that's the one th hard thing about theater and TV, like balancing or film balancing the two side by side is one demands they both demand so much time, and sometimes they book you out so early that it means, oh, I can't, if I say yes to this I won't be able to do any of that, or I've already said yes to this, so sorry, I can't make myself available to do that. But I'd love to. I mean, they very kindly last year made me an associate, so hopefully the door's always open for me to be like, hello, what's any space for me? Like I said, I love that space. I owe so many people in that space so much, um, and I have so much love and joy for that building and the people in it that it'd be an absolute joy to go back.
Yeah, for sure. Well, best of luck with all your future projects. Really appreciate you coming on the podcast. It's been a pleasure speaking with you.
Absolute pleasure. Pleasure's all mine. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening. Please stay tuned for more episodes soon.